Good morning, everybody. I hope you can see the question I've got for you on screen. I want you to think about this. What was the Collins Dictionary word of the year in 2017? You might be surprised. It was fake news. So we're going to have a think about that in the assembly this morning. What is fake news? Where does it come from? And how can you avoid being taken in by it? This man here, President Donald Trump, or ex-President Donald Trump, the words fake news seem to come from him so often. Every time he didn't like somebody challenging his ideas, or every time somebody asked him a question about some sort of policy or other news that he didn't agree with, didn't want to be challenged by, it seemed all too easy for him just to say it was fake news or you're fake news and disregard it. But as you move on through life, you need to be able to consider the news and decide, is it fake? Is it real? So you need to be thinking about the bigger picture and how you can avoid falling into the trap of fake news and being taken in by the wrong facts or the wrong figures because somebody has persuaded you they were right when in fact they weren't. So where does all this fake news come from? Well, we have the internet, don't we? Imagine a world without the internet. What would you be missing? There'd be no smartphones, no texting, no direct messaging, no Google, and definitely none of the platforms that I expect a lot of you use, such as Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. It's just not there, is it? But because we do have all these things at our fingertips, it means anybody can put anything out there and persuade you that things that may not be real are. And they convince people to pick up the wrong ideas, and sometimes that can be very dangerous. So we have all this wonderful technology. A few years ago, we could only imagined it, but now the technology can do some serious damage. So whilst it's very exciting to have it all, we've got to be in the position where we're very thoughtful and we're very selective about what we take from it. The internet is an amazing thing, but of course we've got to be very careful and select the right information from it and know sometimes where the information isn't properly correct so that you can disregard, or better still, challenge it and have it put right. So you need to be getting the full story. And I think this is particularly important at the moment while we are in a pandemic and there are all sorts of wrong stories circulating on the internet and social media. And I'm sure you have heard over the last couple of weeks some of the difficulties being presented around coronavirus and the vaccines going out there. It wasn't long ago that people thought that COVID-19, the coronavirus that's caused the pandemic, was coming out of a 5G telephone mask. For me, that's just absolutely ridiculous. How do people think a telephone mask puts out a disease? So people were going out, people were getting the idea that it was the wrong thing, and they were setting fire to all the telephone masks. Well, if they do that, that destroys the signals those masks put out for all the rest of us to be able to use our phones and our access to the internet. So some people's thinking needs a lot of challenging. You might have seen in the news last week some of these guys. This is Adil Ray at the top. You might know him as Citizen Khan. And I expect you'll know some of the other three famous faces, and there were many more that joined them. They got together to put their own film out to dispel myths about the COVID-19 vaccine. They want their communities to be properly protected. And they were challenging the facts around the vaccine because in the BAME community, there were a lot of social media messages and films suggesting that the vaccine contained all sorts of things when in fact it didn't. So they were there to put things right. Their message included things like there are no meat products in the vaccine, it does not affect fertility, it does not contain a microchip, that it's absolutely safe to use, and that people should go out and get the vaccine when it's their turn to protect their families and their friends and their communities against the virus. But what else? Through history, people have come up with other ways of creating fake situations. Have a look at this photograph. How high have these three people jumped? It's fantastic, doesn't it, when you see them up in the air? It could be, of course, that they were all photoshopped in. But in fact, what had happened is they were standing up on the edge of, I think, what looks like the limestone pavements at Malham Tarn, jumping in the air only a short way, but because somebody laid down to take the photo, it appeared that they were jumping much higher than they really were. So don't believe everything you see. Ask yourselves, how have these images been put together? Are they photoshopped? Are they realistic? I'm sure you can look at a lot of these things with your own good common sense. So what is fact? What is fake? The BBC put out a quiz to have a little bit of fun with this idea. I've picked a couple of questions for you. What do you think about this? Australia moves. Australia is moving further north, which means people using sat-navs might struggle to find significant landmarks. Is this real or fake news? Make a decision. What about this one? World's first underwater golf course opens. Is this real or fake news? Make your decision. Let's have a look at a couple of those answers and see whether you've got your thoughts right. So, the golf course is fake. How on earth are you going to get people underwater playing golf? However, the story about Australia moving is in fact real. But you might notice from the figures, when people had a go at this, it was quite close whether or not people could decide. So you might need to go away and do a bit of research and find out what the facts are that support these decisions. Australia is moving because of the Earth is made up of big sections called tectonic plates. You might have learned about those in geography. And they do shift slowly over time, which is why Australia is moving ever so slightly. But through the internet, what you're trying to read, what you might see on social media, there's lots of ways people are trying to mislead you or provide you with a message that they want you to hear, even if it's not correct. Just going to have a quick look at the three different things now. Omission, assertion, and scapegoating. What do you think they mean? Let's start with omission. Missing out the small facts can sometimes radically change the meaning of a message.
Omission. Missing out small facts which radically change the meaning of the message.
So, think carefully about the information you're given. This was another example. So, drinking 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. What might be wrong with that? Well, water doesn't just come in its purest form. You might get your intake of water from other drinks, tea, coffee, juice, milk, as well as water. But misleading information or missing information can lead to misunderstandings and for people to take the wrong course of action sometimes. Here is something else. How about this? A nice bottle of cold water. Lovely. Look at the logo. The logo is a snowy mountain, the sun coming up behind. It just gives you a picture, doesn't it, that This water must come from a nice icy cold spring somewhere on the side of the mountain. What could be better than that? Pure water, perfect taste, it says. There's something missing here too. In fact, all this is tap water. And that might be good news because tap water is subject to much stricter regulations because it's got to be absolutely pure and clean when it comes into your house. And after pressure from consumer groups, the company that made the water or put the water out had to put public water source on the bottle. It wasn't from the snow mountains after all. What about an assertion? This is where you're saying something like it's a fact. But actually, it may or may not be true.
Assertion, saying something like it's a fact, but really it's just a statement that may or may not be true.
Here's another one where the Coca-Cola campaign, this was some years ago now, I can remember this as a young person, convinced people that having a drink of Coke was going to be the very best thing possible and make you so happy.
Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I like to teach the world to sing. Sing with me. Perfect harmony. Perfect harmony. I like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. That's the real thing. I like to teach the world to sing. Perfect harmony. And I like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. It's the real thing. What the world wants today. It's the real thing. What the world wants today. It's the real thing.
So, are we all going to feel hope, love, happiness and stay forever young if we drink Coca-Cola? I don't think so. Scapegoating. This is where you blame a problem on someone else, although sometimes there could be other factors involved. Let's have a think about a couple of situations here.
Scapegoat. Blaming a problem on one person or group of people, even though there could be loads of other factors involved.
But scapegoating is not just a thing of the past or of the present. It keeps going. Hitler blamed the Jews for the collapse of the German society. And I think you'll have known from your history lessons what happened there and how that they were persecuted. But many groups in society are still persecuted today. LGBTQ people have been scapegoats for the coronavirus, was a news headline that was posted in South Korea. It was because in one nightclub, for gay men particularly, there was an outbreak of COVID. Therefore, the newspapers picked up the idea that they were the people spreading it, which of course was not true. And then there was a newspaper story echoing this in Italy that did the rounds. And when somebody went away and investigated, it was nothing to do with Italy. It was a South American nightclub for men and for women who weren't even gay at all. So they completely debunked that story. And then in Australia, this lady here, Fadak, It's a refugee who wants to meet you. Why does she want to meet you? Well, she wants to put her story out there to challenge what was going on. She had fled from Iraq with her family to go and start a new life in Australia, and they settled into the community. But a period in time came along where the Australian government started to blame the immigrants for a lot of social problems. They tried to put stories out that they didn't treat their children well, and it was completely untrue. So Fadak stood up for them, and she went out and started doing public speaking and to put the message right. And indeed, as she got her word out there, so the Australian government were also challenged about their behaviour towards the refugees. So when you are looking at the news, you need to start debunking some of these myths for yourself. So it's all about the bigger picture. When you click on a story on social media, then stop and think. Do a couple more clicks and check out whether the story has any basis in truth. What's its merit? You can use fact-checking websites or established information sites such as Wikipedia to look things up. You can also go to the news and news sources like Reuters or the BBC. Look at them. It's a matter of pride for organisations like that to get the news right when they are reporting. So you can usually test things out by looking there. But always be careful. Is there information missing? Do you need to look somewhere else to get the full story? Be aware of how things are being presented. Are somebody making assertions that you doubt are true? And scapegoating, is the blame being put somewhere else? Stay curious and keep asking questions. It's really good to be skeptical about what you read on the web. So check your sources, look for omissions, check the facts, and make sure the article you're reading is not scapegoating. It's all about that bigger picture. So do not let the fake news take you in. Question it every time.